What's up, traders? I know you haven't seen me or heard me for a while, but I had to stop in to give an update about what's going on in cryptocurrency tonight, June the 12th, 2022. You're probably going to read about this tomorrow morning. The reason for the weekend sell off is this announcement from Celsius. They have paused withdrawals. I'm going to talk about who Celsius is, why that's important, and also give a little bit of historical context from my experience over the decade trading and being in the cryptocurrency space, what this means historically. So let's talk about what came out just a few minutes ago this evening. This is a memo that came out from the Celsius, the blog, their main blog. We are writing with a very important message for our community. Due to extreme market conditions, today we are announcing that Celsius is pausing all withdrawals, swap, and transfers between accounts. We are taking this action today to put Celsius in a better position to honor, over time, its withdrawal obligations. Very interesting how they word that. Acting in the interest of our community is our top priority. In service of that commitment and to adhere to our risk management framework, we have activated a clause in our terms of use that will allow for this process to take place. Celsius has valuable assets, and we are working diligently to meet our obligations. We are taking this necessary action for the benefit of our entire community in order to stabilize liquidity and operations while we take steps to preserve and protect assets. Furthermore, customers will continue to accrue rewards during the pause in line with our commitment to our customers. We understand this news is difficult, but we believe that our decision to pause withdrawals, swap, and transfers between accounts is the most responsible action we can take to protect our community. We are working with a singular focus to protect and preserve assets to meet our obligations to our customers. Our ultimate objective is stabilizing liquidity and restoring withdrawals, swap, and transfers between accounts as quickly as possible. There's a lot of work ahead as we consider various options. This process will take time, and there may be delays. We thank the incredible Celsius community for your support today. It is our pleasure to serve you. Our operations continue, and we will continue to share information with the community as it becomes available. Okay, so what does this mean? Well, pausing withdrawals is a panic button. This has happened many times in the history of cryptocurrency through various centralized exchanges. And what this is an attempt to do is halt a potential bank run. In other words, everyone rushing to pull their assets off of the platform. And that's important for Celsius because what Celsius is a lending platform. You store your cryptocurrency as an asset on Celsius's platform. And then what they do is they allow people to take out loans. I actually know a few people personally that have mortgages from Celsius. And that is, you can take out loans for many things. You can even buy musical instruments, really expensive pianos, as I know. Not sure if that's what someone has used it for, but these are examples. They've been issuing loans, and of course, when you're doing loans, you're taking that in very likely a fractional reserve type of system. And so, if everyone rushes to withdraw their cryptocurrency, their whole business model collapses. So they're doing this to protect themselves ostensibly from such an event occurring. Now, why would they need to do that? Well, this is where I'm just going to speculate. And I don't know what the truth is because they're probably not going to say. But the most benign reason is because things have gone down. A lot of people are trying to cash out. I don't know. It could just be the market volatility itself. Historically, however, if we go back to Mt. Gox, and this is where I can provide a little bit of historical context, the first thing Mt. Gox did when they were facing actual insolvency, first of all, they got hacked. They got hacked of a lot of their crypto, a lot of the Bitcoin, excuse me, I shouldn't say crypto, it was just Bitcoin back then. And they could not cover a lot of their obligations. Now, the first thing they did was halt US dollar withdrawals. Now, what they did at the time was cite banking issues. In other words, the banks would not let them transfer anymore. That could have been true, but they definitely did not reveal that they'd been hacked. Well, that news, I got together with a friend of mine at the time and I said, look, I remember this story from one of my mentors from MF Global. MF Global, let's look that up real quick. So MF Global was the trading company. I think they did Forex and stuff like that. It was a derivatives broker, and they did about the same thing when they went bankrupt in 2011. My mentor told me, "Hey, I had money in there, and they did the same thing. They paused withdrawals, and then a little time later, they said, "Whoops, sorry, we're going out of business. Maybe you'll get some of yours back." And so this has happened with financial service companies a lot. It doesn't necessarily mean insolvency, but it is a potential problem. It could potentially mean insolvency. Not to add to the FUD, but this is just what this sometimes means. Then later you had an instance with Bitfinex where they were very transparent about the fact that Bitfinex had been hacked. In fact, that recently got resolved. If you recall, the two hackers were caught, and a lot of that money may or may not find its way back to Bitfinex. But the whole story of that has unfolded. But what they did was they issued IOU tokens. They were very transparent, open with their customer base, what happened, and they eventually made everyone whole. So these things happen a lot, but when some exchange pauses withdrawals, they don't let people pull their money out. They're doing it to protect the financial assets of the business at the expense of the trust in the business, because this is a big, huge, huge loss to customer trust. And so they would only do this in an emergency situation, because I'm sure that just like any business, they want to continue to service their customers at the end of whatever crisis they may be facing, and you lose a lot of goodwill if you pause withdrawals, because then your customers have lost trust in your business and your platform. Now, apparently, there have been rumors of this going around this weekend. I'm citing this Frank Chaparro on Twitter. I didn't know about this. I'm only finding out about this from just like everyone else, just a few minutes ago, this memo being released. But there's apparently been rumors. But you can't do everything on rumors. Now, all that being said, you know that I'm a technical trader, and I made a post a few days ago, just talking about, Bitcoin June the 1st was basically holding this last level of support here about 30K. And the same thing with Ethereum holding about the 17. It's been banging up against this through May. And then at the beginning of the weekend on Friday, June the 10th, we actually began to break that support. And so this break of support right here was kind of a death blow to this already bearish trend going from November when this thing failed to break out. So this is the reason that the financial media, Twitterverse, is going to cite for this weekend's crash. But the technicals were already there. We're already in a sustained bearish trend. I believe this since November that we're in a crypto winter. There's a lot of trust being eroded. No one wants to put their money into cryptocurrency. So a lot of people ask me on a regular basis, okay, do I buy this dip? Or when do we start buying the dips? When do we start picking up? I'm going to be a little tongue in cheek here. The time to buy cryptocurrency is when no one is asking that question. This is just another instance in that erosion of confidence and erosion of this being a get rich quick, this being the place where you want to have your money. These things go in cycles, and it's very unfortunate. I'm sorry if you're down a lot, but you have to wait until everyone believes that cryptocurrency is a worthless asset class. We're not quite there yet. There's still a lot of hopium out there. And I wish for my good friends that are very heavily invested that that's not the case. But this is the cycle of all market things. Bitcoin has gone through, this is the fifth bearish cycle for Bitcoin in its history. I challenge you to go back on TradingView, look at the Bitcoin all-time history index. It'll go back all the way to 2011. You can see where there have been many bubbles, bust. And to think that this was any different, no, it wasn't. This time it's different. Well, not always. So I do believe we're in a crypto winter or crypto bearish cycle. I do believe that it will continue. Historically, the pullbacks, the four before, have, and Bitcoin in particular, have gone down 75 to 85%. And so basically, if I was to tell a target to people, I would say that Bitcoin in the teens is where I personally get interested. Ethereum, maybe 3 digits. I think that's very likely. So not to add to the FUD, but I just want to give my opinion from the years that I've been watching this and hopefully help people make some good decisions in this time. So, one thing that I do recommend that I've said for many months now, look to some cross pairs. I know that I've been preaching about trading cross pairs like Ethereum versus Bitcoin. If you can find these on trading exchanges, this can hedge your existing exposure. Uh, during you'll notice here with in the crypto space, Bitcoin is going down a less than a lot of these more volatile coins because volatility is the price you pay for those sick gains. Bitcoin has typically always been the safe haven currency. When crypto's in a bearish cycle, the more volatile coins drop more. People want to own Bitcoin, but personally, in recent months, I have come around to a new thesis. Um, I still believe that Bitcoin and Ethereum are the two major players, but I think that people need to really consider Monero. And as I watch this move happening right now, Monero is keeping pace basically with the downside of Bitcoin. The reason I like Monero is because I believe it actually has the original use case of cryptocurrency in mind, that being a privacy focused cryptocurrency. People use it for that purpose. There's a lot of good use cases out there for NFTs, for various DAOs, smart contracts. I love Ethereum for that. But when it comes to actually using cryptocurrency for what its primary use case was, being outside of government and corporate control, privacy coins, I do believe. And so I've adopted that as my thesis now. So I'm going to be definitely watching Monero in this down cycle, along with everything else. And so you're going to see some more updates from me coming more regularly, but I want to get this out there. Hope this helps. Trade wisely.